You can still get your life back. Get your life back. It's real. Get your life back. Get your life.
Now we are on. Hey guys. Glad you tune in. And yeah, you're right, Julia. Self-talk is the big talk and everything mental health. It's like, that's it. And it seemed like this thing, pandemic, is like a reminder. Here come Tracy. You know, a reminder for us to get back to taking care of ourselves. That's the main reason why I wanted to do this. Hey, Tracy, is that Tracy?
Hi, yes. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, ladies.
Hi, welcome.
That's my girl from way back.
Hi, ladies.
Hey. All right. So we're going to talk about self-care. I'm going to start and give a quick intro on everything, and we're going to jump right into it. And I want you guys to keep a count. I don't know if you have a pen, a paper, a pad, just to see what areas that we need to pay more attention to, because we all fall off sometime, and sometimes we need to be reminded that self-care is important, that mental health is important. And so I have different areas that we're going to cover. So yes, we're talking about all things self-care. We're going to talk about the spiritual aspect of ourselves, our self-esteem, our social connections, health and fitness, which I need to get back with.
Yes, me too.
Purpose and professional, relax, relate, release, right? So we're going to get into that, and we definitely going to deal with the spiritual part self, because I'm sure you that on here, I already know you believe the same way, that we have a spirit, but we possess a mind, a body, and a soul. We're going to take a soul spiritual assessment. Keep in mind, this is an assessment. So let me take the cursor and slide down like that. Okay. Now I'm asking these questions, and then after I do this set, Kelly, do the next set. Do you take out time to notice what's working well in your life? The reason why I said it before you answer is because a lot of times we focus on what's not working well in our life, and that brings on stress, depression, discouragement. And so I try to get my clients to think about what is working well in their life. Do you guys do that well? You do it okay? You need to improve, or you don't do it at all? So, because it'd be too okay. Do you recognize the people and things that add and give meaning to your life? Because that's important, because you know we got those depleters out there. All right, guys. Do you recognize the people who add to your life? And then if you can, name one or a few of those people who add to your life.
Yeah, I used to have a CD player downstairs and I would have one because I always had this idea that I was going to have this sound system through my house so that this fabulous soaking music could be playing 24
I did too in the prayer room.
Yeah, me
Me
too.
too.
Yes.
I still have it. It's gonna happen.
Right.
CD player, and I just played CDs on a loop. I started doing that in 2002, and as soon as you walk into my home, that's what
Yes.
and
Nice.
it was always in the backdrop of everything. You know, so if there was ever any upset or anything that came up, I always was able to.
You know, you have the daily prayer that, you know, we sit and we spend our time, and I have that as well. But prayer has actually also become my form of just meditation and relaxation to be able to get me through in everything that's going on in my life.
I know that's right.
Yeah, because the sheltering in place has, I cannot imagine how people could just stay in the house all day. And I'm not saying stay in the house doing nothing. I mean, people who are like shut in and sick,
Right.
you know, those who, you know, have disabilities or whatever. I can't understand how they can stay in the house, because it has really kind of affected me within the past like week or so.
On to the next one. Participate in feel-good activities. Yes, reading the Bible is a feel-good activity for those that did not know. I love that it's in there because it definitely can make you feel better. Watch your favorite movies, go to the gym, roller skating, laugh, talk to a loved one, whatever it may be that makes you feel good. Even if it's eating during COVID right now. Are you? You having your own comedy shows, right?
It's like stuff on Instagram and social media, but you know, some of that stuff will really have you crying, laughing. We send each other stuff all the time.
Very true.
Yes, we do. And you know what's interesting too, I think, especially, and I know I keep going back to this time, but in this time, things that we may have normally shunned from, You know, it's good to kind of relook at those things, because I was really not a fan of social media to a
Right.
certain extent, and certain things I just wouldn't watch. But to be honest with you, it has really been helping me with a lot of things, because some of the things that I choose to look at, you know, just makes me laugh. A lot of the virtual parties that are happening.
To the topic, so we can close out with this social connection self-care assessment. And I know we talked about some of it, but results from most.
Ain't that a beautiful picture?
I recognize those people. That's when Kelly came down here. Results from most studies show that people with strong social relationships increase their odds of survival over a certain time period by 50%. That's big. You know, I gotta settle on the people around me. Sometimes you may be tired of the people around you. And you need some new friends. And it's like, there's people all over. I like it because you can connect with people. I got people I met in Africa on social media.
Everyone on here says yes.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna move right along real quick. Okay, wait. What does this say? Social exchanges, intimacy. You still continue. Collaborate on projects or form partnerships to make things easier. Grow, learn to lighten the load. So I'm gonna start with me. Doing this self-care project and bringing Kelly on was also a way of collaborating. And she know I have these other agendas where I'm trying to push her to do more, because she has so much in her. And I know she's growing her business and the visibility and getting comfortable with just doing things like this. I know the more we all need to push sometimes, but also it helps me out. Just even by you, Kelly, reading the chat, you know what I'm saying? It takes some of the stuff you got to do at one time. It's like, it's less stressful. So it's like, hey, we can partner, on certain things, collaborate on certain things. And to me, we both can, it's like a win-win situation. Anybody want to chime in? How we doing with that? Collaborating, forming partnerships in life.
Let's do a self-esteem, self-care assessment. I'm telling you, you set this up, Cheryl. But it's the right setup. It's a setup, but it's okay. We're going to go with it. So the first one is learn to say no to avoid feeling obligated, like a puppet, or devalued, or ignored. Is it easy to say no?
No.
Feeling obligated.
Julia said no.
No, I'm bad with this.
Okay. I had to learn to. Who said? Agent said I had to learn.
Had to learn, and Julia's bad with it. And even with that, and I know sometimes, I think this is a time when it's okay to be selfish, because if someone is asking you to do, or you're about to do something that is going to stress you out or overwhelm you, this is the time to be like, you know what, I can't. This is too much. And you have to be okay with it, because especially when it comes to work or anything like that, if it's a friend, you have to understand, number one, work is going to go on without you, because when you're there or not, and you breaking your back to do, and it's all of this. If you get sick, they're going to keep going. They're just going to call somebody else, and they're going to keep going. They're not going to call to see if you're okay. They're not going to call to see how you're doing. They just gonna. So when it comes to work, I'm like, you know what? I started to become selfish with it, because I understood that. And I realized that also not everyone is the same type of friend that you are. And so when it comes to your friendships, I think that everyone deserves to have a friend like how you are to them. And this is also a good time for you to realize that, you know what, you're not really a good friend, because if you know that whatever this is, and I'm telling you that I don't want to say no because I know you may feel the way about it, you should be a good friend and respect that. You should want what's best for me. If I'm like, I'm just too drained, I'm doing too much, I may have a fear about it, it's overwhelming, or for whatever reason, that person should respect that. And if they can't, then it's like, you know what, I have to care about myself more than you seem to. And it's okay for me to say no.
It's not reciprocated, or they don't have time for you. When you want to vent and talk about your stuff, you become the person they get used to dumping on. So when you want to dump, you can't find on people.
Yep, and some of the people you don't want to dump to anyway, because you got to look at that also.
That's why you want to have friends who you can't. Right, exactly. Should have somebody in your life that you can share with too, and it's not always they take.
So reading empowering scriptures, books, and or listening to motivational, empowering podcast videos in conferences, etc. Are we doing this?
Yep, AAA.
Identify positive traits within yourself. So sometimes we don't think about that.
Right.
You know, how often are we actually acknowledging the positive things that we have? Because again, like I say, sometimes we can be our own worst critic. I am my own worst critic.
Right.
But you know, it's also good to be able to, when you have those thoughts, be able to just counteract them with the positive thoughts. Yes, I may want to lose this gut, but guess what? You know, it's more me to hug on to. You want to counteract it.
Right.
I'm warm and cuddly, you know.
I want to say something about identifying the positive traits within yourself.
Yes.
Even though that's something that I feel like you have to figure out on your own. For me personally, sometimes you don't think about that. And what has helped me is those good relationships that I do have, which we just talked about, having friends that add value to your life. I've realized that in the moments where I've poured into them, and whether they were crying, they were venting, but seeing them come out on the other side of that reminded me that I'm a good friend. It reminded me that I'm a good listener. It reminded me that, okay, you know, just to value myself and the kind of friend that I am. So that started being something that I was like, okay, I'm proud of myself because I can be that friend for people, because everybody doesn't have that. So sometimes just looking at the things that you do for other people, that can kind of help you identify the positive traits that you do.
So we are done, guys. I'm so glad you participated.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
I'm so glad you guys joined me. You know, for more support in any of these areas, I'm available, and I'm offering my services for 20% off any normal price. If you want to see the services that I provide, you can visit CherylWhiteHoward.com. And want to thank Kelly for partnering with me. She ain't see this part through this up in here. Kelly started her own business. She got her Instagram page, which is awesome, called KB's Lighthouse Consulting and Counseling Services. And if you want to connect with Kelly on IG, go to KBS Lighthouse. That's her business page. And she has inspiration for everything life, study, life, and love. It was our self-care moment.
Awesome.
I'm gonna practice self-care and go lay down in my bed.
Yes.
All right,
with the lights off. Just
right.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna end this.
bye.
Bye-bye.
You can still get your life back. Get your life back. It's real. Get your life back. Get your life back.